Let me quickly talk to you about how to get a business credit card with no guarantee. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sort of Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about how to get a business credit card with no guarantee. First of all, what is a personal guarantee? A personal guarantee is an individual's legally binding promise that he or she will repay credit issued to the business with his or her personal assets in the case the business is unable to pay off debt. That's pretty clear, right? And if you want to get a credit card without a personal guarantee, you're going to have a strategy. You're going to have to comply with certain things. And this is what I'm going to show you in today's conversation. And it's not really that easy to get a business credit card with no personal guarantee because think about it. The lender, the credit card issuer, is trying to cover their risk. They're trying to manage risk here. And that as a business, whether you are a startup or you are an established business, they want to make sure that you have skin in the game. It's all about having skin in the game. As the owner, if you have no skin in the game, the lender is probably thinking you're not really serious. So that's why that's why they usually ask for a guarantee. But there are things you can do, especially there are certain categories of cards that I'm going to talk to you about today. And those cards are called corporate credit cards. You have corporate credit cards, you have corporate charge cards. And those are the kind of cards that you might want to think about as you are considering getting a business credit card with no personal guarantee. One thing I want to say also is that there is a strong correlation between your personal credit and your business credit. And so what you want to do is, as you are trying to get a business credit card with no guarantee, please pay attention to your personal credit. Very important. You have, as a business founder, you have to be creditworthy in the eyes of the credit card issuer for them to accept giving you a credit card, a business credit card, without personal guarantee. So you have to constantly think about that duality here, the duality of business credit and personal credit. And of course, the business credit cards that I'm going to talk to you today about in the show, those business credit cards, when you use them properly, they will show on consumer credit reports. They will also show on business credit reports. Not all of them, though. Some business credit cards only report to business credit reports. In other words, they only reports to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. Whereas other business credit cards will report both to business and also personal credit report. In other words, they will report to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So in today's conversation, I'm going to speak to you. Here is the method. Here is the step-by-step you need to follow if you want to get a business credit card with no guarantee. Step number one, I want you to establish something called a corporate veil. I want you to really remember this term very, very, very properly. Corporate veil, what is it? It is basically a legal concept that segregates the personality of a corporation from the personalities of its shareholders. And what it does is it protects them from being personally liable from the company's debts and obligations. So if you want a business credit card with no guarantee, you need to structurally separate your company from your personal financial information. Very important. The word here is structurally. You need to structure your company in such a way that your personal finances are segregated from your business's finances. Make sure the business is legally established. In other words, it's incorporated or it's an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, you name it. You want to apply with the IRS to get an employer identification number, and EIN is very important. It's not just about paying your taxes. It's also important when it comes to establishing a business bank account. And this is the third thing you have to think about. In establishing a corporate veil, you need to open a business bank account. You also want to register for a DUNS number, a Dun & Bradstreet number. All right, very important. You also want to think about doing other stuff. For example, you want to have a conversation with your lenders, with your suppliers, with your vendors to have credit lines and vendor trade lines. Those are very important because the types of accounts that can help you establish and build business history can include business credit cards, that's for sure, right? Business loans, that's for sure, and bank extended credit lines. And many business credit scoring models will also incorporate payment history from trade lines or vendor and supplier credit lines. So here I'm referring to net 30 or net 45 or net 60, that kind of stuff. All right. So you have to do those things. So you want to establish that corporate veil. And of course, you want to complement all this structure, all this solid structure with a system of accounting procedures. And you can do this by hiring an accountant in-house or outsourcing the accounting function, or just get accounting software like QuickBooks or Wave or Xero, for example. So after establishing a corporate veil, I want you to do in number 2. I want you to understand business credit card qualification requirements. If you're trying to get a business credit card with no guarantee, you need to understand the qualification requirements. And so the question of who can qualify for a business credit card is very important to ask. One thing I want to say is that it doesn't matter whether you are a one-person business or a 10,000 person business, whether you are a freelancer, whether you have a startup, you are just running a side hustle, you are a hobbyist, you are a sole proprietorship, you are a partnership, LLC, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you have to structure your business as a business, your gig as a business. So even if you are an independent contractor, even if you are a graphic designer somewhere, just making some cash on Upwork or Fiverr or a freelancer, you still need to structure your gig as a business. This is going to help you. This is going to help you actually comply with the number 1 requirements when it comes to business credit card qualifications. And so one thing you also have to do here is that you have to also think about the fact that the business credit card issuer is going to think about the risk of losing their money if you don't pay your balance in full every month, right? So most small business credit cards will require you to provide some kind of information, including your personal income and social security number when you apply. And this is why you want to have an EIN, because when they ask you for your social, you can actually skip that box. And what you do is you want to basically put your EIN in the appropriate box. The bottom line here is that what you're trying to do, you're trying to cover your personal asset. You're trying to protect your personal asset. You are applying for a business credit card. So all the information that is needed should pertain to the business, not to you personally. All right. And one thing I also want to say here is that another business credit card qualification requirements is a complete address. You want to have, again, if you're working from home, I would strongly suggest for you to get an additional business address. You can probably just, there are a lot of solutions right now. You can actually go to a co-working space and you can actually rent a business address there. Maybe that will cost you probably $20 or $10 a month, but it is worth it, because the bottom line, the idea here is to project an air of professionalism. You want to project an air of business mindset. All right, very important. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are still you're still learning from today's conversation. So I'm just talking to you about how to get a business credit card with no guarantee. Step number 1, you need to establish a corporate veil. Step number 2, you need to understand business credit card qualification requirements. Step number 3, you need to meet the revenue requirements. Now, the personal guarantee on a business credit card is the issuer's way of reducing risk, right? If the business can't pay its debt and closes while it still has outstanding credit card debt, the issuer has some recourse for getting back its money. So personal guarantees are found in the form of specific clauses in the card's terms and conditions that basically spell out your personal liability from the debt. All right. Now, if you want to actually prevent that personal guarantee, if you want to block it, what you want to do is you need to meet revenue requirements, because a lot of credit, again, going back to what I said earlier about the credit card issuer trying to mitigate his or her risk. If you don't have personal guarantee, then you need to have some kind of revenue or cash in the bank. All right. And so what do I mean by revenue? Now, revenue takes different, it has different meanings. Some card issuers like American Express or Capital One, they will want you to have a history of revenue. In other words, they want you to be in business for many years, and they want you to have generated consistent revenue over that time period. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is that you can actually have financial projections, sales projections. If you are a startup or you are a business that that's been struggling for a while and you're just trying to change your business model, you can basically have a business plan that shows that you can expect a certain amount of cash in terms of revenue in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. The whole idea here is to, again, going back to what I said earlier, you want to project an air of confidence. You want to project an air of stability. You want to tell the lender, the credit card issuer, that you know where you're going, and you know and you have a plan for it. All right, so you can show actual revenue, in other words, historical revenue, or you can show projected revenue. And so there are corporate cards with no personal guarantee requirements. So when we talk about business credit card, you have a subset of this. You have a subset of business credit cards called corporate cards, and those are designed specifically with the unique needs of large corporations in mind, with management and accounting features that can scale with your company. However, you can also get some corporate cards from new players in the market, including Brex Rewards Card, for example. But I'll speak about Brex later on. Step number 4. I want you to consider retail business credit lines. So what I'm talking about here is you have to think, you have to be innovative in terms of getting your business credit card. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, I want a business credit card, so I'm thinking automatically about American Express. I'm thinking about Capital One. I'm thinking about Citibank. No, you have a wide constellation of business credit cards, and if you don't qualify for Amex, you don't qualify for Citibank, you don't qualify for Wells Fargo, guess what? There are other credit cards out there that will cater to your business. There are a gazillion cards, and the whole idea here is to be innovative. Let me give you an example. The retail business credit cards, they have waivable guarantee requirements. In those cases, you don't need a corporation-specific card to avoid the personal guarantee requirements. A very small number of retail co-branded small business credit cards are reported to offer the option to waive the guarantee requirements if you meet specific requirements. And this could be a revenue. This could be the fact that you're only shopping with them. I'll give you an example. If you have the Sam's Club's business credit card, this is a card that allows you that does not require personal guarantee. They're fine with that, but they want you to have a minimum amount of revenue every year, and of course you want to shop. If you got to be a member, you have to have a Sam's Club membership. All right, so this is very important for them, and so they're trying to establish a win-win relationship here. So besides the Sam's Club, you also have all the stores branded branded cards. I'm speaking about JCPenney, or you have gazillion cards out there. And what we've seen in our research is that retail cards offer similar waivers, and they have basic revenue and company size requirements, but they do not require a personal guarantee. So consider retail business credit lines. All right. So If you want to get a business credit card with no guarantee, number one, establish a corporate veil. Number two, understand business credit card qualification requirements. Number three, meet revenue requirements. And you can meet that by either historical data or projected data. In other words, forward-looking data. Number four, you want to consider retail business credit lines. And number five, I want you to seek business cards with no personal guarantee. So there is a series of business cards that actually do not require personal guarantee, and I'm going to quickly go through them. We have about 5 of them, and I'm going to quickly go through them. So first, we have the Brex corporate card for startups, and this is great for startups and companies that have a lot of capital. So if you are a founder and you found yourself in a very lucky situation where you have a lot of cash sitting in the bank, but you don't want to actually risk your personal assets, go with Brex. And you have great rewards for the right spending profiles. They have the card offers you a solid portfolio of extra benefits. And so those are the pros. On the con side, on the drawback side, you have strict cash reserve requirements. And this is a card that really wants to cater to a specific niche of companies. And they also require you to make Brex your exclusive corporate card, because that's how they actually make money too. If you want to take full advantage of their rewards package, you need to actually you need to be in the Brex ecosystem. Besides Brex, you also have another beautiful card called the Ramp corporate card. And this is another card that is very simple. It has a very solid cashback rate. And what we love here is that the Ramp card the Ramp card is a part of those fintech companies, fintech credit card issuers that actually have been using AI a lot. So for example, in the Ramp corporate card, you have algorithm-driven insights that can help you save money. In other words, you have a little robot in the back that constantly analyzes your transactions, analyzes your spending patterns to kind of help you save money. So this is pretty cool. And I mean, you don't have a lot of cards that do that. The traditional cards don't do that. That's for sure. The third card I want you to pay attention to is if you're looking for a business credit card with no guarantee, and that's the scale factor charge card. And this is the only drawback of this card is that, I mean, it's also a blessing, but also a drawback. The blessing is that you can utilize Scale Factor's software to manage expense reports. And this is a card that is great. This is wonderful for small businesses, but not corporations. On the drawback side, you got to become a Scale Factor customer before applying. And it has a minimal rewards rate. So it's up to you to really see what's important for you before making the final decision. Another card that I want to talk about, and I just briefly alluded to that card before, and that's the Sam's Club Business MasterCard. And this is a card that has no personal guarantee requirements, and it has a solid cashback rate. And on the con side, on the drawback side, you need to have a Sam's Club membership, which is about $45 to $50 per year. And they also have stringent requirements to get the card without a personal guarantee. So the thing here is that the Sam's Club Business MasterCard, of course, you actually have higher rewards if you shop within the Sam's Club itself, the ecosystem, but it's actually a pretty flexible card. Unlike, you might be thinking that the card has limited use, but no, it's very, very flexible. You will receive, for example, you will receive 5% cash back on gas, 3% back on dining and travel, and 1% back on everything else. There are no restrictions on only getting bonus rates via Sam's Club purchases. On top of the rewards, the fact that it's a MasterCard means that you can use it at pretty much any merchant. And another card I want to talk to you about is the Bremer Bank Visa Signature Business Company card. And this is another card that we have actually, we have loved, we have analyzed, we have reviewed, we have actually evaluated on numerous occasions. It's a great card. The only thing is that it's wonderful for businesses located in the upper Midwest of the United States. So if you are around, if you are in if your business is based in Minnesota, in Wisconsin, or in North Dakota, or neighboring states, you're pretty good. And one benefit of this card that we love a lot, besides of course the no personal guarantee, is the free rewards program that is available. All right, and this is a card that is aimed at businesses in the medium to large range. Okay, and additionally, to qualify for the no personal guarantee option, your business must have done at least $1 million in annual revenue and $350K in net annual income for the previous 2 years at minimum. Now, we reached out to the Bremer Bank, and basically the customer service told us that those numerical requirements are changing. They're flexible. So for some, so they have been doing this on a case-by-case basis. So even though the official rules are saying, listen, it's 1 million in annual revenue and 350 in net annual income, if you are around, let's say you have, your business has generated say $500,000 in annual revenue and 100K in net annual income for the previous 2 years, they might actually approve your credit card application. If of course the application is solid, if you have a solid business plan, if you can explain everything, you have a great projections, you have a great financial projections, they might accept you. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about the best method to get a business credit card with no guarantee. First, you need to establish a coverage veil. Number 2, you need to understand business credit card qualification requirements. Number 3, you need to meet revenue requirements. You can either go through historical data or forward-looking projected data. Number 4, you need to consider retail business credit lines. And number 5, last but not the least, you need to seek business credit cards with no personal guarantee. And I gave you 5 of them, and there are many out there, but the 5 that we love here on this show are Brex, Ramp, Skill Factor, Sam's Club Business MasterCard, and Bremer Bank Visa Signature Business Company Card. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.